How's it going, everybody? My name is Biffy, and welcome to The Monster Inside. This is an audio-visual novella by Random Seed Games. I don't know anything about this, so let's get on with it. It's supposed to be like you read while there's a scene. My head pounded, ears still ringing slightly. Some of the worst nightmares I'd had in years left me feeling like I'd been punched in the jaw. But just like any other day, I dragged myself to the office. There was another notice in the door from Mayor Vanetti's office. Permits out of date. They didn't like me much and were trying to drown me in paperwork. It was a slow month, weeks since I had any real case to work on. So I passed the time pacing in the office, smoking and staring at the mirror in the corner, safely covered with an old bedsheet. I'm gonna give this guy like an old detective voice. I don't dare look at my own reflection. I'm too afraid of what I might see. Afraid someday I might have to face what I really am. The girl came in so quiet, I nearly choked on my cigarette. Oh, that would have sucked. Mister, please, you gotta help me, mister. Calm down. Sit and talk slow. Okay, thanks. It's just, no one will listen to me. Just tell me your tale and I'm listening. She eyed me with just a dash of suspicion as I tossed back a handful of pills, chased them with a swig of whiskey. I could tell this might take a while. God, it's like, let me go to another detective, maybe. Somebody who's not addicted to pills and an alcoholic. Her name was Lily. She told me she was his mistress. Man all over the newspapers. The infamous banker Reginald Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth was a drunk, philandering bastard. But this girl seemed genuinely concerned that he had recently gone missing. Less concerned about the fact that Mr. Farnsworth's wife had just turned up dead in the Central Park 2 nights ago. You don't understand. He just couldn't have done it. He hated his wife, but he couldn't have killed her. Everyone thinks it was him, and no one believes me. He's got to be in trouble. I ain't saying I believe you. But what makes you think he's in danger? Well, Mr. Jack. You can call me Jack. Jack, whoever did this to his wife must have been the one who took him. He would have never left without me. He promised me. I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth promised this poor girl a lot of things. Please, the cops won't listen to me and they want to bring him in on charges. You gotta prove it wasn't him before they find him. Honestly, I doubt they are in too much of a hurry. Farnsworth had practically the entire police force deep in his pockets. His deep pockets. Sorry. Kinda reading out his character because I can't really read like fast and stuff with a voice and loud headphones. Sorry. Probably why they hadn't found much yet. If they found him and brought him in, it would be due to public pressure. Sometimes a mob with pitchforks is more dangerous than one man with money. You've got my curiosity, but you might not like what I find. This is gonna be fun. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jack. Thank you, but please, be careful. I don't think this was just any murderer or kidnapper. I think it was a beast. Beast. The word struck me funny. Like when you jaw your elbow on a hard corner. Not a word many use these days, except in a hushed whispers in bedtime stories for children. Oh, they were real enough, all right. They got better at hiding, controlling their unseemly urges. But I hadn't seen any monsters in nearly 15 years. Back when I was still a cat myself. Leave the detective work to me. Let's not jump to any conclusions now.
I just have a feeling about it. Something tells me you can get to the bottom of it. You're good at this sort of thing.
Sure. Can't you see how busy I am with cases? Now get out of here, kid. Leave me alone. I replied a little too harshly. Sarcasm wasn't my strong suit. I reassured her some more and sent her on her way. I didn't want to scare her, but I warned her before she left to keep her doors locked and call me if she saw anything suspicious. I didn't know if she was in any danger herself, but better be safe than sorry. And that night I made my way down to Central Park. It was a long shot, but maybe there was something there the cops had missed. Next chapter. Oh, we might be able to finish this in one go. Heck yeah. The scene was already picked clean by the cops days ago, but I've got a knack for finding the things others overlook. Me too. Scratches on the tree. Oh, and there's flies over by the light. And these poly trees. These polygons. All of these polygons. Look at all these polygons. A knack. More of a symptom of a condition. Other, less useful symptoms I keep in check. But for the time being, my keen sense of smell would come in handy. This guy farted right before he died. Scent is still lingering. It was faint, but I could smell it before I even approached the police line. The scent was less of a thing and more of an emotion. Seduction. A strangely familiar smell. I expected the scent of trepidation, maybe even outright fear. But Mrs. Farnsworth seemed to have been at the height of pleasure when she left this world. Cover your ears, children. Brought a new meaning to crime of passion. Pushing the thought from my mind, it was time to get down to business. Investigate the scene. Okay. Boom. A burn mark on a nearby tree caught my eye. I ran my finger along its length and felt a chill run down my spine. This wasn't just any burn mark, this was the mark of an ancient magic. It's doubtful the cops would have picked up on it. Could Lily have been right? Something unnatural was at play here. But I was no stranger to the strange. Oh, what's that? I didn't even see that. Muddy footprints everywhere. Difficult to pick out anything from these prints the cops left behind in their haste. But cops don't wear $2,000 pairs of khaki nose, I don't know. It looked like Mr. Farnsworth was there that night and walked away on his own 2 feet. After looking around a while longer, I realized the park had given up all it was hiding from me. So I trudged back to my apartment, and my head hit the pillow like it owed me money. Wow, this is quick. This is going to be a quick game. The next morning I was reeling from another bout of ghoulish nightmares, but I tried to hide my discomfort when I saw Lily was already sitting outside my office. She waited wordlessly as I unlocked the door and ripped down another notice from the mayor's office. I motioned for her to step inside, seemingly afraid of what I might say. She finally worked up the courage to ask.
So what did you find?
Well, I've got some good news. Farnsworth might still be alive. I probably shouldn't have given her false hope like that, but she seemed like she needed something to hold on to right then. She didn't need to know about the mark on the tree.
How do you know that? Where is he?
Found his footprints. Seems like somebody got out safely. My tone was indifferent towards her. As I turned and grabbed a bottle from my desk drawer, a dryness in my throat made it difficult to swallow my meds.
But you don't know where he went? Do you think the news this morning is related?
What news is that?
Haven't you heard?
Nope. Rough night followed my rough morning. By a rough morning.
They found the police chief's wife dead, down by the docks. They say it happened last night.
Let me guess. Chief Amato was missing too. My face might have been betrayed by a hint of satisfaction as she confirmed my suspicions, but it faded quickly. Amato was a shit cop and a shit chief. He was half the reason I left the force, but now his wife was dead, and I had more questions than I did the day before. Sorry. The gears in my head started to spin, which wasn't helped by the splitting pain at my temples. I told Lily I needed time to work, and she left slightly dejected, wanting more answers than I could provide. That night, after the cops had cleared out of the docks, I would slip down and see what I could uncover concerning Mrs. Amato's untimely demise. There are 7 chapters to this game. So, we're on chapter 4 right now. So we're gonna finish this game quick. It's really good though. It's a nice like detective story, uncovering the mystery with a little bit of supernatural involved. Detective. The cold air smelled strongly of salt and oil, and could it be that smell again, like someone had bottled pure aerosol and used it as perfume? It hit me like a long-forgotten memory, but the sensual fumes soon gave way to a rush of adrenaline. I knew exactly what the scent reminded me of, and that scared me more than not knowing. I looked down at my hands, shaking. The nightmares, the headaches. No, I was better now. Reformed. I had to focus. No jumping to conclusions. Follow the evidence. Investigate the scene. Alright, we got some chains. Red Phoenix cigarettes. Same shitty brand I smoke every day. Everyone's got their vice. I don't see what this is. There. Just there. The smallest piece of purple fabric. Torn and caught in the splinter of a board. The police report didn't say anything about Mrs. Amato wearing purple. It was certainly of quality that you wouldn't expect down here. Don't see too many high society types around flaunting their royal purple threads. I pulled out my own pack of reds and lit up. I could already feel another headache coming on, but looking out over the waves seemed to help me forget. Looking out at the lake waves where I'm from, whenever I'm in a lake or a pond or something, really peaceful. I like going on the lake on my kayak sometimes. I like whipping out my kayak, getting out there, splashing some water. Real nice, especially at nighttime. There's like a really eerie peacefulness being out on the lake at night. The moon shining on the water. Sometimes it gets real foggy. It's a good time. It's a good time. I didn't get to go kayaking this year though. The cold helped me push down the uncomfortable thoughts that had been bubbling to the top of my brain. We're in chapter 5. Good lord. I honestly don't remember the walk back to the office. Apparently I spent the night in my easy chair. The air from the docks lingered on my clothes. It was still dark out. No, I checked the clock. How long had I been out? Had I really slept through the entire next day? The newspaper was sitting under the door. As I stood to fetch it, I nearly fell over. A wave of nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. I steadied myself and regained my composure. Before I picked up the paper, I'd already read the headline. Breaking. Mayor missing. Wife found dead. 2 cases is a coincidence. 3 is a pattern. The cops would come asking questions soon. They knew I had a history of antagonizing all the victims. I stumbled to my desk and slammed back 3 days worth of inhibitor pills. Couldn't take any chances. I had to investigate the scene to be sure. I threw on my jacket and went to the door. Lily caught me off guard on the other side.
Jack, where are you off to? I've been trying to reach you all day.
I've just been busy. I'm off to Mrs. Vanetti's crime scene.
Okay, but we need to talk when you get back. Stay safe.
Something's gonna happen to her before I get back. I just have a feeling. She gave me a soft kiss on the cheek as I rushed off. Part of me wanted to stay and tell her it would be okay. But it would be a lie. Next chapter. The alley was located just behind the high-rise apartments, where Mayor Vanetti and his wife lived. I could tell the police were spooked now. The crime scene was even sloppier than the last. They haven't even bothered to submit the trash into evidence. Why wouldn't they at least look through the dumpster? It seemed untouched. No one wants to do the dirty work. But I know how to find the good stuff. Really doesn't take long if you know what to look for. Lightweight bags usually means someone was dumping documents. If you were lucky, they didn't bother to shred them. Jackpot. Shell companies. Shady stock trades. Bribes. I knew Mayor Vanetti was crooked, but this was unbelievable. And there was more. Letters between Mayor Vanetti and Chief Amato talking about me. They were trying to get me shut down. They didn't like me snooping around crime scenes all the time. Well, they weren't here to stop me snooping around this one. Vanetti's car. If he's still alive, he wouldn't have left in his car. Okay, if he's still alive, why wouldn't he have left in his car? It didn't make any sense. I honestly wasn't too motivated to find him, but stakes were too high. My bet was edging towards unthinkable. The unthinkable. As I searched around for anything that might assuage my fears, assuage, I don't know, I caught the scent again. It overwhelmed my other senses with undulating pleasures. It was intoxicating. A weapon used on the weak-willed. A weapon I knew all too well. I thought it had been many years since I had used it. Was there another like me? Was I being framed? You think he's the monster? Because he didn't remember the night back home. What if he's the monster? I think that's what's going on. Was it possible? Was it? I was taking my inhibitors. I was reformed. But the nightmares, the headaches, the memory lapses. I couldn't even trust myself. I started walking back out the alley when something shiny caught my eye. A watch. Not just any watch, though. My watch. How long had my wrist been bare? Surely I dropped it when I first came down the alley. I checked the time just before I left the office, hadn't I? Or had I used the wall clock? I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be sure of anything. So I ran back to the office. I don't know why I ran back to the office. The cops would probably show up any minute to knock on the door. To knock the door down and cart me away. They had put it together before long. Maybe it would be best for everyone if I simply faced my own reflection. But Lily was still there waiting for me. Jack, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. My own ghost. Come back to haunt me from the past. You're not making any sense, Jack. Come sit down. You don't understand. You're not safe around me. Took a good last look at her as I prepared to shove her out the door. I noticed she was wearing the same thing she had when she first came to my office 3 days ago. A beautiful purple dress. Odd that I hadn't really noticed it before. But it made her seem out of place. Out of time. It was frayed around the edges. Torn in places. My chair caught my fall as my knees failed me. It was you. You were the monster. Succubus. Oh, Jack. We are one and the same, you and I. We are both monsters. I'm simply more honest with myself. There's no such thing as reformation. Those pills you take only make you dull. Beasts like us should never suppress our true natures, as you have incubus. Those men probably were dead too now. I figured she probably took them to her lair to harvest their seed. Succubus is like a female demon, uses to like lure men so she can do lots of bad stuff. So you've done all this just to wake me up.
say that. Though it seemed enough just to have you doubt yourself. You believed you were still capable of such horrors? Which means deep down, for you probably are. You can't escape it now. Now I need you... You can't escape it. Now I need you to complete the deed. You took my watch. Messed with my head. Oh, don't act like I didn't do you a favor. Those men hated you and wanted you gone. Now they are gone. I mustered the strength to stand again, moving casually to the window by the corner. She was right about one thing. I was dull, weak, compared to her. If I refused her and she attacked me, I was dead man. I had to keep her talking. I've never met a succubus who seduces and kills women. Oh, please. Such a 14th century stereotype. I don't discriminate when it comes to pleasures of the flesh. But I still do. Wait. But I still do need an incubus like yourself to take the tainted seed I've harvested from those awful men and plant it among the fertile masses for me. I'm tired of draining my lovers just to survive. I'm ready to settle down and start a family. That maniacal laughter. I positioned myself carefully, making sure she was looking my direction. Sorry, but I'm not your guy. I'm not your friend, buddy. With a quick flick of my wrist, I whipped out the old bedsheet off the corner of the mirror. Lily was blinded by her own reflection and sucked into the mirror with a painful, monstrous scream, trapped. Shielding my own eyes, I pulled a revolver from my desk side drawer, aimed it at the mirror, and fired. Ooh, nice. So I guess they can get trapped if they see their own reflection in the mirror. They get trapped in the mirror, so he shot it. Case closed. Nice. More for Random Seed Games. Go check them out. Go get some of these games on Steam. It was definitely a good little story, and I like how quick it was. Sometimes I don't like games that like fill lots of spaces with just useless time, or like exploration that doesn't really answer anything to the story. It's just like, you know, comic relief, which is good. But like this was all straight story. Loved it. Good time. So thank you guys very much for watching this. If you like to, be sure to press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and take it easy. Keep it real. Game on.